Hello, everyone, and welcome back to coverage of Dreamhack Denver. My name's Ryan. I'm joined by Noah Walker, and it's great to have your company as we round out our coverage of day number one here. Our format, of course, is modern. I believe we're going to have a look at the standings, Noah, before we head into our final matches for the day and see what's what and who's at the top end of town. We're going to be checking out some of these undefeated players. We just saw Chandler Cox secure his 8-0 position in the last round, but look at that. Some familiar names from the last couple of rounds as well. Mac Endres, still undefeated. Devon Straub on 8-0 as well. And Jacob Koshak, 4-color Omnath. 4 players undefeated. Only going to be 2 by the end of this round.
Yeah, these last couple of rounds of day one of these big tournaments, especially for me, I feel like mentally, really, really huge rounds. You get to go to bed with, thinking, man, like, tomorrow I got, my 9-0 record, my 8-1 record, my 7-2 record, as you see for these 16 people, just really, really pivotal rounds into, how your dinner and how your sleep and preparation goes for day 2. So
also, I've realized that I've just made a fool of myself because we have 2 more undefeated players. Sorry, yes, 7-0 and 1, technically undefeated. All right, okay, ooh. Yes, Jason Chan, Jody Keith, well done to both of them. Haven't lost a game yet. They have picked up a draw. And then the 7-1 bracket, Ron Keenan, Andrew Upton. We just saw Andrew go down to Chandler Cox. Amin Ebadi, and I'm very impressed that Amin has managed to get that little turtle emoji on the actual standings board. I did see it on the Malay interface in the back end. I saw it in a couple of bits and pieces there. That turtle has made it all the way to the standings board. So well done, Amin. I don't know how you managed that, but that is really something.
Yeah, that's actually impressive.
Tiago Portela, Matt Nass, Jacob Durish, Elijah Wilson, Jay Washachowski, Paul Green, plenty of other 7-1 players as well, but our focus is going to be laser-like on these 8-0 players to find out who will be heading into day number 2 without any losses and without any draws. Our match this round, we have Mac Endres once again making his way to the feature match table, playing off against another Golgari Yawgmoth player. So that's two undefeated Golgari Yawgmoth players here this weekend. Devon Straub. Let's talk about this list. Looks to be very similar to the one that we've just seen here. Not too much in terms of huge differences, but is there anything that stands out to you, Noah?
Yeah, I mean, the one copy of Eldritch Evolution, kind of spicy, just like a 5th Court of Calling, essentially. Other than that, really, really standard-looking list. Oh, I see a sideboard copy of Necroplasm, not one that we see too often. Really, really cool card.
Oh yeah, that's a Commander favorite, I believe. I've seen that card in Commander a couple of times.
Yeah, definitely.
On the other side of things, Team of Rhinos in the hands of Mac Endres. We don't have to spend too long talking about this list because we've already seen Mac go to town in our feature match area with this list. We're saying it's Team of Rhinos, but this is the new Leyline of the Guild Pact build with the Leyline of the Guild Pact, obviously from Murders at Carlov Manor. Tell us, Noah, what differences does this card make in the list?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, how differently, this list plays than, for example, like the 3 Dishonest Sidebinder list as far as like, deck construction, really, really similar. This Leyline of the Guild Pact version, though, it does have a little bit more removal. You get access to Leyline bindings as well. You get access to like really, really powerful turn 2 play in the Sign of Draco. So I think it gives the deck a little bit more explosivity, but also maybe a little bit less consistent.
Yeah, you lose out on some of the deft interactive elements by not having main deck Tishana's Tidebinders. But all the same, this is a deck that's well positioned, obviously, 8-0. So we're going to move right down to the feature match area and see how things pan out between these 2 players. Devon on the left of your screen, he's our Yawgmoth player. Mac on the right on the Rhinos list, Domain Rhinos rather than Team of Rhinos is what we're calling it here. And I'd be excited to see turn 0 Leyline, turn 2 Scion, get in there with a 4/4. One of the great number of very silly things you can do these days in Modern.
Yeah, I've been waiting. I'm just waiting for a Leon and Guild Pact starting in play and a turn 2 Sign of Draco. Like that's what I signed up for this tournament, and until I see it, I will just not be satiated.
All right. Well, you'll have to stay insatiated
Yeah.
for at least one more game, my friend, because it looks like we've got a pretty regular turn 1 start here. Misty Rainforest goes and fetches a Triome, while on Devon's side of things, that's a Delighted Halfling. So back over to Mac. We'll see if he has a way to answer this this Delighted Halfling. Something like Fire would be really, really good here. And with the shock from the Temple Garden...
Yeah, we're certainly either firing our Scion here for sure.
Oh, it's the Scion, just straight up. Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah, because he got the Xander's lounge.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he got the turn 2 Wooburg going on.
So does that satiate you at least a little bit?
I mean, like, we take those. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be upset about a turn 2 Scion of Draco. But, like, you know, like, it could be attacking.
You do want to see that ley line. I get it. Yeah.
You're just going to put this card in your deck and not have it in your opening hand?
Come on, man. Come on, man. All right. On the other side of things, now Agatha's sold Cauldron. Yep, perfect. Words are my tool. And then a Culny Garden as well to make a plant. But the Scion's going to get in there.
Yeah, looks like he's even just opting for a little bit extra damage here and just casting the Violent Outburst now, which I like a lot. Mac really, realizing what his role is in this matchup, just to try to get the game over as quickly as possible.
All right, Scion comes in for 5, and we'll also bring with it 2 Rhinos. There they are.
Devon's hand is looking super unimpressive. I think I see a Might and like not too much else going on. Wait, what is this card?
It's a Grist, the Hunger Tide.
Is it foil or something? I don't recognize
that was the old. There were some cards that were printed in with the art process or like the sketch version or something like that.
Yes.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Man, all these new cool arts. Like what about me? Like, how am I supposed to tell what stuff is?
Oh yeah, the job of the Magic caster has become so much more difficult in recent times.
Yeah.
All right, Mac now still in a position to attack for 8, even after one of those Rhinos is dealt with.
He said, "Faces the place." Mac is not messing around here at all.
Get it? Yeah. And upstairs for Grist generates a little bug, a little insect. And one of those Rhinos, of course, killed by the Grist's -2 ability.
Yeah, the Grist. Exactly what Devon needed here. I am not sure if it'll be enough. I mean, if he has something like a Chord here, which doing nothing with 3 mana and all these creatures up looks a little bit chordy to me. This game is definitely still within reach, but the pressure from this Scion is like huge. It's really, really hard for Devon to deal with.
All right, well, let's see what he can do about it here. And they come.
He said, "Oh, how about Boseiju?" Ooh, I love this Boseiju upkeep too, because Mac got the Surveil land end of turn and chose to keep on top. So Devon deciding, no, you can't have that card that you wanted.
Yeah, nice.
Heads up play. He's like, well, how about I get another Surveil land then?
I'm going to Surveil. Whether you like it or not, man, I'm going to Surveil. Let's have a look. And that one is also going to stay on top. Okay. So Boseiju kills the Draco, which is then exiled by the Agatha Soul Cauldron. But in response, Fire and Ice kill the bug. And now Mac draws the card that he surveilled to the top. And we are in his main phase.
So what did he do with the other damage from the fire? He didn't kill the plant. He went upstairs, or?
Yeah, unsure about that. There was, because only 1 damage was required. The plant's a 0-2 or 0-1-2.
Oh, sorry. He put a counter on the plant. So it probably just went
upstairs, I guess.
Yeah.
You don't want to take a loyalty off the grist, I guess, if you're really trying to push damage through. Devon down to 4, doesn't block.
Yeah, I mean he knows his plan. Creatures sideways, your face. I respect it.
Yep. Just swing and swing until 20 damage is done.
Oh, this is before damage.
Okay.
I mean, this makes a little bit more sense to me why he's just been so aggressively going after Devon's life total and kind of just ignoring this grist. Like, I figured the grist would maybe be a potential problem card as the game went on, but it just seems like Mac had way more action than I even expected.
Yeah, 1/1s are just so anemic against the trampling Rhinos, right? Like, you can't rely on just putting a bunch of 1/1s on the battlefield to gum up the board because the Rhinos will just trample over them.
Totally.
So now Devon on 3 life. Mac on a much healthier 13 here with 3 lethal Rhinos. Right. 4 mana, Yawgmoth. And Devon's going to have to pick something very special apart here. Kills one of the Rhinos. Exiles the grist to put a counter on the plant. So I think it has 2 counters on it now, right?
Ooh, this is such a hot play.
Right, hit it. What's happening here?
Well, he used the Soul Cauldron to exile the grist. So, and then both of his creatures had +1/+1 counters on them because the plant already had a counter on it, and then he used the Soul Cauldron to put a counter on the Yawgmoth. So then he used both of the creatures to use grist's a +1 ability to make those 2.
Right, because they have even though they're not planeswalkers, they still have the loyalty abilities. The activated loyalty ability of the grist because it's a creature when it was exiled. Oh my goodness! Wow,
yeah, really
200 IQ plays here from Devon.
Yeah, tight plays.
Is it going to be enough? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what your IQ is if you're having your head kicked in by 2/8/8 or 2/4/4 Rhinos. And yeah, Devon says, "All right, enough's enough." A very impressive play, a very, very fancy play indeed, but not one that was enough to secure a dub for him in game number 1. So these players will hit their sideboards, and we'll come back to game number 2 and see how things go. But a textbook match there, or textbook game, I should say, from the Rhinos player, Noah, in the sense that, just putting on pressure, making sure that the opponent was sort of on the back foot a little bit with well-placed disruption, not able to enact their game plan, while again, smashing they're facing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just going exactly, to the plans of the Rhino deck, Mac doing what he's been doing seemingly all day at 8-0, just sending these Rhinos sideways, killing everyone with Cyano Draco. Really clean, decisive win, making his deck look really well positioned.
All right, well, let's see if it can be done again here in game number 2. We're going to head back down as soon as everything's in readiness for our second game and see if things change a little bit for the Golgari Yawgmoth play. We saw how the power of this deck, how it can stitch together a win out of seemingly thin air if the cards line up correctly. But they certainly didn't in game number 1. So let's see if things change here in game number 2. Out of the sideboard here for the Rhinos player: Mystical Dispute, Force of Vigor, Drannith Magistrate, Tishana's Tidebinder, Dismember, Boseiju Subtlety. What are the cards you'd like there out of the board? Maybe the Dismember, take care of key creatures. Subtlety maybe to keep Yawgmoths off the board, something like that.
Yeah, you got it. That sounds exactly right to me. Dismember is looking good. Subtlety looking good. Tidebinder, another nice one, being able to just shut off a Yawgmoth completely. I would be surprised if all those didn't come in.
We've got some rippers on the other side of the battlefield as well for Devon Straub. He's got access to Chalice of the Void and Legion's End, both cards very useful in this matchup. Apart from that, what else have we got? Soulless Jailer, Pick Your Poison, Force of Vigor, Reclamation Sage, Fulminator Mage, Necroplasm, Endurance, Fatal Push, Assassin's Trophy. Fatal Push is a nice one as well.
Yeah, the Fatal Push, maybe the Assassin's Trophy, just kind of slow down the onslaught of the bigger creatures a little bit. Like you said, Legion's End, definitely for this matchup, and a really good one, and definitely those Chalices. Pick Your Poison, nice new card. Not exactly the best matchup for it here. Notably, against Mac's list in specific, being able to make him sacrifice a creature with flying, that does give a little bit more value to this Pick Your Poison. Still probably not enough to warrant bringing it in. There's not there's not too many enchantments that you can really deal with. I guess Leyland Binding in the list as well might actually push it over the top, though. Thinking about it a little bit more, it being a 1-mana card that answers so many different things, it could actually be okay.
It's flexible for sure. It's certainly flexible, and it's cheap. So it's got a few things to recommend to it. But here now we see the Shardless Agent Cascade trigger, presumably into the Rhinos here. Unless Mac has had a brain fart and taken them out. Nope, there it is. Crashing Footfalls to make 2 Rhinos. And Devon, with a decent start, the Delighted Halfling into the Agatha Soul Cauldron, now once again facing 10 power. 10 power with the classic turn 3 Cascade play from the Rhinos player.
Yes, so scary how little it takes, for these Rhinos decks to just amass a crazy board.
Yeah, and then you deal with it and they can just do it again. But now, look at this. Speaking of crazy boards, Yawgmoth ran position here for Devon. It's exactly what he wants to play. So both players kind of hitting their marks here, playing their key cards, and we'll see whose game plan ends up being the superior one. That is a Dryad Arbor. Do not be fooled. It's not a forest. Well, it is a forest, but it's a Dryad Arbor also.
It is a forest, but also it's not just a forest. It's not only a forest. It's deeper than that.
And it is immediately sacrificed to the Yawgmoth in order to put a -1/-1 counter on the Rhino. And even taking these Rhinos down to size, we've seen how devastating the proliferate ability can be with the 1/1 counters being spread out like this. But more importantly, now the Yawgmoth can block them.
I guess he just wanted to make sure to get the counters on now before Mac could have a possible answer for this Yawgmoth. I was a little surprised why he did it all main phase. I guess also getting a couple different options in his graveyard for this Agatha Soul Cauldron to use at instant speed. So, I mean, nonetheless, it was a seemingly decent turn. So,
all right, in they come. And now Devon has to decide whether to block. Risk the Yawgmoth dying to a Fire Ice. He's going to. No, maybe not. I don't know if you can here. On 17, I don't know if it's worth risking your key creature here to save a couple of life points.
It's a tough decision. What I like about the block is that he can put a counter on the Yawgmoth, see if Mac has any responses. And then he could also sacrifice the plant to really play around like any sort of 2 damage answers.
Right, because with the counter on the Yawgmoth and an extra -1/-1 counter. Okay, I see. But instead, oh my goodness, it's Tishana's Tidebinder turning up once again here.
So I think this one is targeting the Agatha Soul Cauldron, which is pretty nice.
But we will see the plant sacrificed, so the Rhino dies. The Agatha Soul Cauldron does nothing. Now it is just a blank piece of cardboard.
Hopefully Devin drew a card off of that. I don't know if he drew from the
sacrificing the plant.
Yeah.
Well, no, you'd hope that he wouldn't be missing stuff like that.
It happens. He's thinking about dinner. He's got steaks in his eyes.
Oh yeah. What time is it over in Denver? Actually, it's like 2 p.m. where I am, so I imagine it's pretty late where they are. Where is it?
Yeah, Denver, about 8:50 p.m. Give or take.
That's dinner time for sure, mate. Oh, that's dinner time for sure.
Yeah, not only is it dinner time, like they have been playing just grueling matches of Magic all day. Like to make it to 8-0 in one of these tournaments is so difficult. Like
yeah. Oh, so Devon's in for the fight of his life, not against Mac Andres, but about, he's got to fight off the thoughts of, B-dubs for dinner.
Yeah, the tummy rumbles. They're coming
That's
in
it,
quick.
Mate. The greatest foe of all.
Yeah.
He's in his mind, he's thinking, I can Google where the nearest Popeyes is. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Popeyes, you already know. He's like, oh, I just go anywhere is good. Like, I just want to get home, get some rest in.
Yeah. Come back refreshed and restored for his day 2 campaign.
Totally.
All right. Devon here. The Agatha Soul Cauldron still under the effect of the Tishana's Tide Binder. It has been tide bonded, tide bound, and now Yawgmoth able to do what he does best. But with 4 mana available, and I think a nice full grip. I think that's full 5 cards in hand here for Devon. 4 now. Plays a Grist.
Yeah, I mean, Grist great here. Just being able to make some 1/1s. The Cauldron turned off, so he can't exactly do, set up the same cool combo with Grist Cauldron this game yet. But yeah, he can start trying to answer this Agatha Soul Cauldron and then eventually get that going. Or sorry, this Tidebinder, which is shutting off his Soul Cauldron.
Yeah, I think killing the Tidebinder here is a pretty important priority in order to make sure that the Agatha Soul Cauldron can do its best work. And is that a proliferate there? Yeah. Okay. Nice as well to have that the Grist out, picks up an extra loyalty counter, and this will unlock the Agatha Soul Cauldron and mean that Yawgmoth could potentially be used as a Grist as well.
Yeah, and also can put a counter on this Yawgmoth, make it even harder for Mac to possibly find an answer.
Mm-hmm.
Really big turn there for Devon, honestly. Like, just this board state of seemingly not too many things going on is so much pressure.
All right, activates the Dryad Arbor. So Yawgmoth now does have a +1/+1 counter. Is there a Grist in the bin? I thought there was a Grist in the bin.
I
no.
Don't
okay, never mind.
know.
Never mind. I thought it was going to turn Yawgmoth into a Planeswalker, but no, there's no Grist in the...
that would be sweet.
Oh, yeah. Start churning out 1/1s to sacrifice to the Yawgmoth? Oh, baby.
Yeah, I mean, that's an absolutely disgusting combo, honestly. It looks like that's his plan, honestly. He just ultimate this Grist, use the Cauldron, start getting it going.
Yep. And that's exactly what we're going to see happen. The Grist -5. Opponent loses life equal to the number of creatures in your graveyard. But that's not why he's doing it. He's doing it so he can start activating the now loyalty ability of Yawgmoth and start spewing out those bugs. All right, we've got the suspended copy of Crashing Footfalls down to just 1 counter.
Ooh, and that's the Necroplasm I see in his graveyard. I think this is exactly the sort of matchup that Necroplasm is for, being able to dredge it and then have it as a way to continuously kill 0-cost creatures. Like, you can just blow up Rhinos every turn with it.
So, Necroplasm says, at the beginning of your end step, destroy each creature with converted mana cost equal to the number of +1/+1 counters on Necroplasm. And at the beginning of your upkeep, put a +1/+1 counter on Necroplasm. So if you can keep it as a 1/1 without any counters on it, yeah, it just cleans up those Rhinos. And that's what Devon might be doing next turn. He will lose his bugs as well. He will lose his insects, but well worth it, obviously, when you're keeping Rhinos at bay.
Totally. Or at least, having the option for the Necroplasm it seems really powerful.
All right, Delighted Halfling. And of course, the Necroplasm also has Dredge, which means that it can come back to the hand, fill up the bin a little bit more. Nice inclusion, especially with Grist, as you can mill over your Dredge card.
Yeah, not a card you see too often. What I think the original printing was Ravnica, I want to say.
Yeah.
So
at least the first Ravnica block. Yeah.
Yes, like Ravnica.
Because Dredge was the first ever Golgari mechanic. One of the more broken ones. A little bit more, a little bit better than something like Scavenge.
I've seen worse mechanics than Dredge for sure. I mean,
certainly. All right, a bug goes away. A counter on the other Rhino, and we might just see some proliferation to get rid of these Rhinos.
Yeah,
don't even need the Necroplasm, maybe. Yeah, draws a card, doesn't Dredge. So discard, and look at this as well. Yeah, this is not the proliferate just in full swing here. 4 +1/+1 counters on the Yawgmoth, 3 on that insect,
and they both have loyalty.
Neither of them had their loyalty activated yet either. So we'll get to a point in this game as well where the Yawgmoth and or the bug can have their -5s activated, and that doesn't kill them. Unlike a Planeswalker, usually when you ultimate them, often it'll send them to the bin. But here, no such restriction.
Oh, they just get loyalty for fun.
Yeah, sticking around.
Wait, that he might be able to just win the game here. Just like discard some cards, proliferate a couple times. If he has enough, like he just needs 8 creatures in the graveyard to have lethal.
And he can discard 2 cards.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly what the creature count is. Devin might be counting it up right now. But
he could even dredge. Like he could like maybe do like a draw step. Like if he has like any creature, he could like sack it, do a draw step, dredge 2, maybe hit 1 more creature, discard it for the proliferate. Oh man.
Yeah, true. Because once it's in the bin, it will count. All right, Haywire Might. And the Agatha's Soul Cauldron is going to be activated to exile a creature from. Yeah, so this is to put another counter on here and a loyalty counter, make extra bugs.
Grist, yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the creature. I think
another creature. This is it, man. Devin's seen the line, dude. Devin has seen the line and is just trying to make sure he has enough creatures in his bin in order to do this.
That is actually so sick. I have not seen this happen while watching Yawgmoth before.
So sacrifices the bug in order to put a -1/-1 counter on the Rhino. I imagine we're going to see another. Oh, sorry, the Haywire Might. I think we're going to see another sacrifice with the other insect here as well. But you can see Devin isn't activating the ability, the loyalty abilities of the Yawgmoth or the insect to his left, because I think he wants to double ultimate. And even if not, right, he's just shrinking all of these rhinos.
Oh, he wants it. I can feel how much Devin wants this.
Yeah, he wants the style points, dude.
Exactly. The math he's doing right now is creatures in graveyard math and proliferate math.
Yep. And so now -1/-1 counters put everywhere, extra loyalty counters, +1/+1 counters put on the Yawgmoth and the insect, another proliferate. Both of them go up now to above ultimate levels. I think it's 6 and 5 loyalty. Devin does a quick count of the creatures in his bin, and he's going to win with a double Grist ultimate with no Grists on the battlefield. That is one of the most remarkable victories I have seen in the game of Magic for a very long time. Well done to Devin. One of the most stylish victories I think we're going to see today. Noah, how was that, mate? Oh, my goodness.
What? That was insane. I just think that it is so cool, just the specific wording on Agatha's Soul Cauldron and the specific wording on Grist, that what we just witnessed is even possible. Like that. Wow. All I have to say is wow, honestly.
That was incredible, because normally if you win with the winning with a Planeswalker Ultimate isn't uncommon. But normally it involves having the Planeswalker in play. And normally you don't win with 2 identical ultimates strung back to back with each other.
Yeah.
So Devin showing us exactly what he's capable of here. We're going to jump into game number 3, Noah, as well now. But we can continue to talk about what we've just seen as we head into our deciding game. Devin taking the chance to fuel up quickly. You can see they're having a munch and a crunch on something.
I just love that. I just soul read how hungry Devin was, that he couldn't even wait for dinner.
Even wait, dude.
He's just like, I'm down.
Popeyes delivered to the venue.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, yep, dinner's now.
All right, Chalice on 1. Great start. Oh, sorry, Chalice on 0, I should say. Great start for Devin here. That's going to make it difficult for Mac to get these Rhinos into play.
Just crunching away.
Is that a Leyline Binding that's in the bin? Oh, it's Surveilled. I was wondering how it got there.
Yeah.
All right, Surveilled with the new lands that have joined the format recently. And so what's Mac's plan for this Chalice? He's got Besage, he's got Force of Vigor.
And I think that is about it.
Leyline Binding also will do it, but does need to find these cards. He's got plenty of answers. He just needs to find them.
And he certainly brings Force of Vigor in this matchup, just because of Agatha's Soul Cauldron. You know, there's a lot of applications for it. So this is just a good matchup for him to have Force of Vigor in his deck anyways. So that's good. But yeah, as you said, Leyline Binding, already 1 in the bin, but there is 3 more of those. And, his list, it being a little less typical, having access to these Scions and stuff, it's not as though the Chalice is, not a really big problem for him. He just has other ways to possibly push through and still create a good game plan for himself. So
yeah, the Sign of Draco is it's pretty good against Chalice of the Void, I would say. I'd say it's a pretty good card against Chalice.
Yeah, it can rock. It can rock for sure.
I've seen some beefy chalices, dude. I've seen a chalice for 6 before. I've seen some real chonkers.
Are you trying to flex on us now? Chalice for 6? Like, who needs that?
What was it in? It was to counter. It was against Scapeshift to counter Primeval Titans, I believe.
Ooh.
Way back in the day. Way back in the day.
I mean, that does sound a little spicy. I'm not gonna lie.
It was real spicy. Yeah. If I remember correctly, it was a Tron list, and it had it on like 2 to stop all of the ramp spells, and then 6 to stop the Primeval. No, it must have been on 4 as well for this. I can't remember. Anyway, it was brutal. But I don't think we're going to see one on 12. Anyway, we have Agatha Soul Cauldron, Dryad Arbor, and a Leyline Binding to get rid of the Agatha Soul Cauldron. Interestingly,
yeah,
not the Chalice.
That's some respect. Huh. Interesting play. I would have expected like some, end of turn, Leyline's Binding your Chalice, get in there for 4, maybe make a couple Rhinos. But maybe Mac's hand like didn't have, any sort of Rhino ability.
Well, he obviously doesn't have any Cascade cards. Oh, maybe he does, but he's not playing them. Yeah. But he doesn't have. He's obviously suspending one of the Rhino cards. So, all right, Dismember's a really nice one here. Really nice one to get rid of that Shelter before it can do any real harm. And the Scion gets in again. Devon down to 6. Holy moly, this has been a quick one.
Yeah, I think just the combination of Devon's mana base being so painful, and then just the turn 3 Scion just basically not really having too many clean answers in Devon's deck for the Scion this early. So,
all right, Agatha Soul Cauldron joins the party here.
What did he deploy after? I don't know if I recognize the art.
No, I'm not 100% sure either. Is it a Reclamation Sage?
Looks like it didn't matter.
Didn't matter. It doesn't matter. We'll never know. Because that is that, my friends. It looks like Mac Andrus is going to take out game number 3. So after an incredible game number 1, the match sort of going out with a whimper rather than a bang there. But well done indeed to Mac, who finishes up 9-0, one of our undefeated players at the end of day number 1. He'll be very happy with himself for that colossal effort. Congratulations to him. Definitely the way that you want to start your day number 2, with a perfect record, unblemished, no losses, no draws. Well done indeed to Mac. A colossal effort, something that takes quite a lot of doing, and hopefully we'll see him make a deep run into our second day with the tens of thousands of dollars on the line, Pro Tour and World Championship invitations and all sorts of other stuff. We'll be here to bring you coverage of that as well. I believe that Mac got the chance to catch up with Tannen after that win as well. So if we've got everything in readiness for that, we'll be chucking it over to an interview now with one of our undefeated players. Let's check in now with Mac Andrus. After that win, he caught up with Tannen Grace.
The whole day, how do you feel about the rest of the season, kind of thing? Yeah.
Very happy with most of my choices. We had some minor regrets, but if you're audibling with Dreamhack,
Sure.
Really
Yeah, you were talking about that, like you were like 1 or 2 cards off your lane.
Attention players in the regional championship. At this time in the round. Once again, players in the regional championship, at this time in the round, please take an additional 5 turns and finish your
Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. We're good. We had that happen today.
Oh no.
We're good. Okay. Ready? Hey everybody, welcome back down to the feature match area, into the interview area, brought to you by Heavy Play. I'm joined again here by Mac after a grueling day 1. You are one of our 9-0 players. How does it feel?
Oh, fantastic. We've outperformed expectations. Last minute audible, and the deck's been fantastic.
Yeah, speaking of that, you were telling me, like earlier today that you really liked your deck. After the 9 rounds today, going 9-0, you've got to feel a lot better about that choice.
Oh yeah, I feel perfectly justified. I could not have asked for more. Almost all of our decisions are correct. We later realized a few things are probably wrong, but I don't think it's cost me anything today, and we've outperformed all expectations.
Now, you were just telling me before this that you haven't played on a Pro Tour yet in your career. You've done really well. You've gotten really close a few times. Starting out 9-0 here, you're only a few more wins away from locking up one of those top 32 spots here. Is that on your mind, and what would it mean to you if you do lock that up?
I'm trying not to think about it. I probably won't think about it until, I don't know, around 15. But we're playing for top 8. Pro Tour is just a side effect.
Mac, love the attitude. Great day from you here. I hope it continues for you tomorrow.
Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Welcome back one final time, my friends, to coverage of Dreamhack Denver. We're just about to close things out for the end of the day, but we'll be back again tomorrow. So we do hope you'll join us as we crown a champion here at this Dreamhack tournament. Before we wrap things up, Noah, though, let's have another look at the standings. Our final standings at the end of day number 1. We can have a squiz at them now, and we can see that Mac Endress, to the surprise of no one, right at the top of them at 9-0. And joining him, Jacob Koshak, 4-color Omnath, also 9-0. And by the look of things as well, our other players who had picked up draws, they don't seem to be at 8-0-1. So these two are sitting pretty right at the top of the tables. Congratulations to Mac Endress and Jacob Koshak, 9-0. A huge effort from both of them. So well done indeed. Looking forward to seeing them face off tomorrow. Devon Straub, Jeffrey Chen, Faye Brown, Chandler Cox, Matt Nass, Jay Washachowski, Evan Heritage, Dylan Loda, Jeff Wyant, Matt Sicking Johnson, Jonathan Salem, Pierre Smith, Griffin Hall, and Nathan Sahai, and probably some others as well on our second screen at 8-1. These are the names to keep an eye on tomorrow. See if they can convert on the terrific performance they've put in today, Noah.
Totally. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised by the number of different decks that I see. I think that goes a long way to show just really the health of Modern right now. So many different, yeah, we see a lot of Yawgmoths here, a lot of Domain Zoos, but, there's an Amulet Titan deck, Living End, the Grief deck, Scam, like so many different decks putting up such a good showing for day one. It really has me excited to watch more of this tournament, honestly.
And that's what we'll be doing. And we hope you join us for our continued coverage of this event as well. The format, of course, Modern. Great to explore this format. It always is. And we hope to have you back here again as we get stuck in. Well, you have to check your local times exactly when it's going to be. But I would say roughly, what is it, like 10 to 12 hours? Be sure to stay tuned and see what we've got coming up next in the next couple of hours. But, my friends, before we wrap things up for the day, once again, we want to thank our sponsors, the people who have helped bring this stream to life. It is, of course, Heavy Play. Heavy Play have supported this stream, and it's so important that competitive Magic is broadcast and showcased like this, and it's only possible with the help of sponsors like Heavy Play. Use coupon code Denver2024 for 10% off at heavyplay.com. They've got a great range of incredible Magic the Gathering and other card game accessories. They've got deck boxes and sleeves and playmats and all sorts. Do yourself a favor and do competitive Magic a favor. Head over to heavyplay.com and have a look at what they've got going on there. 10% off using coupon code Denver2024. Noah, it's been a pleasure to work with you again, my friend. Thanks for making me look a lot better than I am at this. I appreciate it, mate. And I'm looking forward to getting stuck into the top 8 with you tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow, in addition to all the other faces you've seen on your screens throughout the broadcast today. But Noah, your closing thoughts at the end of day number 1.
Yeah, honestly, Modern looking kind of fun. I remember people saying, like, before the Grief bans, before the Fury bans, they weren't having that much fun playing format. Everything that I watched today looked really fun. Bunch of competitive decks out there, as I was saying before, in those 8-1, 9-0 range. So, yeah, really just so excited to see where this takes us. Ecstatic to be able to cast the top 8. Super, super huge rounds, 2 Worlds invites, as you said, up for grabs. So I can't wait.
Yep, a lot on the line tomorrow, and we hope you accompany them. On behalf of the entire broadcast team, we've got BJ, we've got Jeff, we've got Anu behind the scenes, the rest of the casters that you've seen bringing you this coverage today. I'd like to thank you for being part of today's broadcast and contributing to its success. One final thank you to Heavy Play, our sponsors, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow at Dreamhack Denver for more Modern Magic. Until then, take care of yourselves, everyone, and we'll see you again tomorrow.